For example number 10, a movie theater has been charging $7.50 per person and selling about 400 tickets on a typical weeknight. After surveying their customers, the theater estimates that for every 50 cents that they lower the price, the number of moviegoers will increase by 35 per night. Find the demand function and calculate the consumer surplus when the tickets are priced at $6. So the demand function is linear with a slope, and that slope is negative 0.5, which is the 50 cents, divided by 35. If we reduce that and turn it into a fraction, we would get negative 1 over 70. So we know that this is the slope. Now we know that at 400 tickets, it's going to equal $7.50. So we know that this is a point on the graph where the value for x is 400 and the value for p is 7.5. So in order to generate an equation, we're going to use the point slope form to find out what that function is going to look like. So we know our slope is negative 1 over 70, and then we have our two x and y coordinates, or x and p coordinates. So we have p minus 7.5, which is equal to negative 1 over 70 times x minus 400. And then we end up getting the function p, which is equal to negative 1 over 70x plus 185 over 14. So now we've generated a function from our question. Now number 2, at the selling price of $6, what that implies is that the selling price p is equal to 6. And so that's going to allow us to solve for x, so we know what our upper limit's going to be in our integral. So we have our equation, our function, and then we'll solve for x. So we can add 6 to one side and add the negative 170x to the other side. So we get positive 170x, which is equal to 185 over 14, minus converting 6 into a fraction with a denominator of 14 is 84 over 14. And then solving for x, we get x, which is equal to 505. And now that we have x, now that we have our function, and now we have the value of p, we can then use the consumer surplus integral. So going from a lower limit of 0 to an upper limit of 505, we have p of x minus p. So we have negative 170x plus 185 over 14 minus 6. And we're going to combine like terms and then find the antiderivative of that. Now we already determined that 185 over 14 minus 6 is 101 over 14. So that's why this is a shortened step. So we get negative 1 over 140x squared plus 101 over 14x with a lower limit of 0 and upper limit of 505. Plugging in 505 into that function, we get approximately $1,821.61.